Hello guys, welcome to the video on MongoDB tutorial for beginners. Now let's see the brief introduction of MongoDB before we will try to install MongoDB on our Windows operating system. So what is MongoDB? MongoDB is a document-oriented NoSQL database. That means it's not a relational database, it's a non-relational database. Now, what is the difference between relational database and non-relational database? Or we can say, what is the difference between NoSQL database and SQL database? Now, SQL database, for example, MySQL or PostgreSQL, has a relational database format. For example, they have tables, columns, and rows which are related to each other, right? But in NoSQL database, these collections or these data are not related with each other and they are non-relational, right? Now MongoDB is a schema-free database and it's based on binary JSON format. And this special format is called BSON, in which B stands for binary and SON comes from JSON. Now MongoDB organizes itself in a group of documents which are called collections, right? And using MongoDB auto sharding in order to scale horizontally is easier, and this is the advanced feature which we are going to see later. And MongoDB uses query language, which is a simple query language, and it has a rich document based query, which is little bit different from your normal relational database queries. And it's open source database, right? Now let's see what is the difference between MongoDB versus some relational databases. So as I already told you that MongoDB uses collection versus the table. So in normal relational databases, something like MySQL or other SQL database, they uses tables, but in MongoDB, instead of tables, we use collections, right? And now inside these collection we have documents instead of rows, right? So in the relational database, if you know that every table can contain multiple columns and rows, we have the replacement of row in NoSQL database or MongoDB especially, which is document. Okay, so collection is like a table, document is like a row, and field is like a column. Okay, so instead of using table, row, and column terminology, we are going to use collection, document, and field, right? And collection isn't strict about what goes inside it. Like your normal, relational database, it's a little bit strict what should go inside it. But this collection isn't so strict and it's schema less. Okay, so this is a small brief introduction about MongoDB. Now let's download MongoDB on our Windows operating system and let's dive more into MongoDB. So open your favorite browser and search for MongoDB, and the first link which will appear here will be from mongodb.org. Just click this link, and in here you will be able to see two buttons. One is download MongoDB, another is MongoDB Cloud Manager. We want to click this button, which is download MongoDB. And in here you can see there are different variants of downloads available for Linux, Mac OS, and Solaris. We want to download it for Windows operating system, and in here they have different flavors. You can see here we want to download it for the 64-bit operating system, so we will just leave it as default and then click download. Now save this MSI file anywhere, wherever you want to save it, and once it's saved, we will be ready to install MongoDB on our Windows operating system. So now this MSI file is downloaded. So I'm going to click this MSI file and I'm going to minimize my browser. And now you can see this Windows installer is starting, and you just need to click next here, and you just need to agree with the license terms and conditions, and then click next. And you just need to choose this complete option and then click install. Okay, and now it's going to install MongoDB on your Windows operating system, and in few seconds MongoDB will be installed. And now you can see MongoDB is installed on our Windows operating system, so we can just click finish. Now let's see where this MongoDB is installed on our Windows operating system. So open your folder explorer and go into C directory here, and in here go to program files, and the program files you will be able to find this MongoDB folder, and inside this MongoDB folder click on server and then the version 3.2, and you will be able to see this bin folder here, right? And in here you can see a bunch of executable file. Now there are two executable files which are of interest for us. One is mongo.exe and the other is mongod.exe. Now MongoD is a Mongo daemon which is going to run in the background, and it's going to accept the connection from MongoDB. So it's a background process, right? And this Mongo.exe is a command line shell from which you are going to work with your database. So in order to work with MongoDB, you just need to run MongoD, which is Mongo daemon, in the background, and then you can open Mongo shell to work with your databases, right? Now let's see how we can open this MongoD in the command prompt. So what you can do is you can right click on your start menu and open the command prompt, and then you can go or browse to this path which is up to this bin folder, or otherwise the shortcut for opening this folder is hold your shift key. So just hold your shift key and then right click your mouse, and then you will be able to see this open command window here. So you can just click this and it's going to open the command window in this folder. And then in here you just need to run MongoD first. So just write MongoD.exe and then press enter, and it's going to give you this error. And let's see what this error is. So you can see it says C colon slash data slash DB not found. So in order to work with MongoDB, you need to have this kind of folder structure in your C drive, which is data slash DB. So we are going to create these folders inside our C drive. So open folder explorer once again, go to your C drive, and then create a new folder here, and we are going to name it as data, and go inside this data folder and create a new folder which we are going to name it as DB. Okay, so data and DB. Okay, so you need to have this kind of folder structure in order to work with MongoDB, which is C, data and DB. Okay, so once you are done with this, you can run this MongoD command once again. So mongod.exe and press enter, and now you can see MongoD is running. You can just click allow access from here, and then you can see this is ready to take the connection. So I'm going to maximize it, and you can see waiting for connections, right? Now what we are going to do next is we are going to open one more terminal to open this mongo.exe file. Okay, So once again, go to this folder, bin folder inside MongoDB, right click. Before right click, you need to press shift. So shift and then right click, and then open command window here once again. And I'm going to maximize it. This is our previous shell and this is our new. So in here we are going to once again run mongod.exe and press enter. And now you can see here connection accepted here, right? So when you you know run this MongoDB.exe, it's going to open this kind of interface, and now from this interface you can connect to your databases. And from this is running in the background this other command prompt which runs MongoDB.exe, right? So it's taking the connection, and for testing it, for example, we will just type here db and press enter, and you can see we have a sample database here which is called test. Okay, so this is all about installation of MongoDB. Now in this video we will see how we can set up the environment variable for MongoDB, so we don't need to open this MongoDB from this bin folder inside the MongoDB every time we open the MongoDB from the shell. And I'm also going to show you how you can download and install a graphical tool so that it will be easier to visualize data in the MongoDB. So first of all, we will set up the environment variable. So what we need to do is just search for system in your Windows operating system, and then in here go to advanced system settings, and in here go to environment variables, and in here under system variables you just need to go to the path variable, and you can either push this added button or double click on this path variable. Now be very careful, you don't need to delete anything here, and at the very last you just need to give a semicolon here. So just give a semicolon and then just copy the path of this MongoDB bin folder. Okay, so in my case it's c:/program file /mongodb/server /3.2/bin, but it can be different for you. So just copy this path where your mongo.exe and mongod.exe file is there, right? So copy this path, and then after copying this path just paste it after this semicolon in the variable value. Okay, so just paste this path and then click OK, and then once again click OK. And now just open your terminal once again. So right click on your start button and then open your command prompt, and now from this place itself you can just give mongod.exe command. So for example mongod.exe, and then press enter, and now you can see it's waiting for the connection. So we are able to open this mongodemon.exe file from somewhere else other than the bin folder, right? So this is happening due to the setup of the environment variable, right? Now let's download and install a graphical tool which is called Mongo Chef to visualize the stuff. So go to your favorite browser and search for Mongo Chef and search for it, and in here you will be able to see this website which is 3t.io/Mongo Chef. So you just need to click this, and this is a tool which you can download for free if you are not using this tool for the commercial purpose, right? So we just want to use this tool for visualization, and it's not for commercial use. We just want to learn from it, right? So I'm going to just click free download, and then it will lead you to this page. In here you just need to give your email ID, your name, and the last name and the company you can give private or something like this, and from where you come to know this Mongo Chef. And then after giving every information, you can click download. So I'm going to quickly do this and click the download button. Now after giving the information and clicking the download button, I can see all the downloads. I'm going to click this download for Windows, and I'm going to save this zip file. Okay, so save it. And once this zip file is downloaded, just go to the location where this zip file is downloaded. In my case, it's here, and you can just extract this file. So you can right click and then just click extract here, and it's going to extract this MSI file from Mongo Chef. So just double click on this MSI file, which is like an installer, and it's going to prepare for installation, and you just need to click next here and just agree with the license terms and condition and click next. And this will be the location where this IDE will be installed, or this tool will be installed, which is Mongo Chef. Just leave it as default and then click next, and then click install. And once this Mongo Chef tool is installed on our Windows operating system, we can just click this checkbox, which will launch this tool, and then we can click finish. So it's going to launch Mongo Chef, and you can see it will give you this warning for what purpose we want to use it. We want to use it for non-commercial use, and we will confirm with the terms and conditions and click OK, and then click OK. And now this tool is open. Now for using this Mongo Chef, make sure that your mongod.exe is running in the background on your command prompt, right? So once again, for example, you just need to open your command prompt here, and you just need to run mongod.exe and press enter. And once this is waiting for the connection, we are ready to use this Mongo Chef. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this tool, and I will go to the file, and I will click connect, or I will just click this button. And then in here you can see this new connection tab, so you just need to click new connection and then give the name to your connection. For example, you can give any name to your connection, for example Mongo test or something else. And then you can see the server name is localhost in our case, and this is the default port on which MongoDB will work, which is 27017. Okay, so you can just click save here, and then you can click connect, and now it's going to show this local here. And now what you need to do is you just need to click Intel iShell. Just click this button here, and it's going to open this kind of a shell, and it's same as running your mongo.exe shell, right? So whenever you give some command here, for example db, and then we will run this command by clicking this button which says execute entire script, or you can just run this execute statement at cursor, right? So we are going to click this button, and now you can see it says local. Okay, so this is the test database which is already provided by the MongoDB to us. Okay, and now you can open this command shell, and I'm going to maximize it, and you can see connection accepted from this local host and this port, right? So we know that our Mongo Chef tool is working, and from the next video we will create some databases, and we will learn more about the MongoDB collections and documents. Now in the last video we have seen how we can connect to our MongoDB using this Mongo Chef tool. Now in this video we will see how we can create a database and how we can drop a database using MongoDB. Now, the first thing which we have to keep in mind is this MongoDB is different from relational databases. So it has the structure something like this. First, you have the database, and inside your database, you have collections, and inside the collections, you have documents, right? So let's create a database. So to create a database, you need a command use and then the database name you want to create. For example, MyDB. Okay, and then we are going to press this button which says execute statement at cursor or F6. Okay, so just press this button and it says switched to DB MyDB. So what does this mean? It means that if MyDB database is already present, it's going to switch to MyDB. Otherwise, if the MyDB database is not present, then it's going to create the DB first and then it's going to switch to this DB. Okay. Now the second command which we have already seen is to list the current database. So for example, we are using MyDB as a current database. To know this, you just need to write DB and then press this button once again and it says MyDB, which is the current working database, right? Now to list out all the databases which are present right now, you need to give this command. So just give show DBs, okay, and this is going to give you the list of all the databases which are present. So just press this button and it says local, but we have recently created MyDB and this MyDB is not listed by this command which is show DBs. The reason for this is because our data doesn't contain any documents. So to show the databases or to show in the list of databases, your database need to have some documents. So first of all, we need to insert some documents. So what we need to do here, we need to insert some document in the database. So command for that is DB. DB is a general term. It's not your database. You are already inside your database by using this command, right? So DB is the general database term. It's not the name of your database, right? Dot the name of your collection. For example, you can give the name to your collection my collection. So this is the name which can be given by you. So we already know that our database can have collections, which is this collection, and then to insert the data you just need to write dot insert. Okay, so just write dot insert and then in the round brackets you need to give some key value pair like a JSON, right? So just give these two curly braces and then first give the key, for example name, and then the value. Okay, for example the name can be Max, okay, like this one. Okay, so this should be like a JSON and then you press our execute command button and then it says write result inserted 1, which is the insertion successful command. Okay, now once again we are going to give this show DBs command to see whether now we can see our database in the list of databases. So once again execute this command and now you can see MyDB is also listed in the list of databases. Right, now let's see how we can drop a database or delete a database using some command, right? So to delete a database, what you need to do is you need to give the same command, use the database name which you want to drop, and we have already given this command. Right now we are in this database, right? So to drop this database, you just need to give the command db dot drop database, right? And this is going to drop your database in which you are currently present, right? So db is a general database term. It's not the name of your database, but just db dot drop database. And what it's going to do is, in whatever database you are currently switched in, it's going to drop this database. So right now we are in this mydb database. So right now when we execute this command, it's going to say dropped mydb. So it has dropped our database, and the result is successful. So now once again we can say show dbs, and then just execute it once again, and it says local because our my database or my db is already been deleted, right? In this video we will see how we can create a collection and how we can drop a collection in MongoDB. So let's get started. We will start by creating a new database, which I am going to name it as MyDB, because if you remember in the last video I have shown you how to drop a database, and in that process we have already dropped our database. And I will press this button and it's going to create the database, and it will switch the current database to MyDB. Now to create a collection, you need to use this command. We have several commands to create a collection. The first is db dot create collection. Okay, so just write db dot create collection, and if you can see here in the IntelliSense, this create collection takes two arguments. One is the name of the collection and other is the options. But for now we are only going to use the name. The options we are going to see a little bit later, right? So just give the name of your collection, for example my collection, and then close the bracket and execute this query, and it says okay 1. So that means our collection is created, right? Now to see the collection, you just need to write show collections and just execute it, and you can see right now we have one collection named my collection in the current database, right? Now the second way of creating a collection is we have seen in the last video. So we can create a collection. For example, I want to create a collection, and the name of the collection I want to give as, for example, my collection or my collection 2. Okay, so my collection 2, and then dot insert. And in the insert, we have seen in the last video, we can give a JSON in a key value pair, for example. Once again the name and the value of the name, for example some name max. Okay, and execute the query, and it's executed successfully, and we are going to give the query show collections once again, and it gives my collection and my collection 2. So now we have two collections, right? Now this query or this command, what it's going to do is going to create the collection if the collection is not present, and if the collection is already present, then it's going to use that collection and then insert this document in that collection, right? So if it's not present, create it. If it's present, then insert into it, right? Now to drop a collection, what we need to do is we need to use once again this db command, and then your collection name. For example, we want to drop our first collection, which is called my collection, and then you give this command dot drop. So just write dot drop, and it's going to drop this collection. So let's hit this query, and then it says true, which means that our command is successful. And then once again we will just show the collections, and now we have only one collection, right? And if you want to remove this collection also, you can just give the command once again db.mycollection2, which is the name of second collection, dot drop, and execute this command, and it says true. Once again you just give the show collection commands, and now we have no collections. In this video we will learn how we can insert a document inside a database. So let's get started. First of all, we are going to create a database, and for example we have a database called school. So let's create a database called school and just execute this command, and we are switched to the school database. Now for example, the school has a number of students, and students can be collections here, right? So we are going to create a collection like student, and then we are going to insert some document in that. Okay, so just give db dot students, which is the name of our collections, right? Dot insert, and then you just need to give something like these round brackets, and inside these round brackets MongoDB takes its data in the form of a JSON. Okay, so if you don't know what is JSON, you may probably want to learn about it, but I can just give you a brief introduction that JSON is a format in which you can save the data, and it makes easier to parse your data and save your data in the JSON format. Now a JSON can look something like this. So for example, we are creating the database for a school which contains students as a collection, and the document can be here this kind of a JSON element, right? So this is one JSON element in our case, this is second JSON element, this is third JSON element, and they are separated by comma here. Okay, now a student can have different attributes, something like a student number, first name, last name, his age. He can have other attributes like what class he is in, or what subjects he likes. So you can add these type of things inside these elements of a JSON, right? Now for example, we want to insert this one element of a JSON inside our MongoDB. What we can do, inside these round brackets you can just paste this data, something like this. Okay, so this is for inserting one document. Okay, and when you execute it, so for executing this you just need to select all this command, which is a one command, right? So select this and then execute it, and you can see it has been written to our database. Okay, now the second way of inserting document is inserting multiple documents. So for example, in this JSON file we have multiple student data. Now to insert multiple student data, what we can do is we can just copy all these elements from here which are separated by comma. So just copy the second student and third student, because first student we have already created, right? So from the second student to the last student, I'm going to copy these elements, and then to insert multiple documents you need to add these kind of square brackets, and this is called array in JSON terminology. Okay, so for example, you want to enter multiple elements, then you need to do it inside these square brackets, right? And just paste your data. So let's see how our data looks like. So in the square brackets, we have second student data, then comma third student data, and comma fourth student data, and so on. And at the last, you can see there is no comma, right? It's like a normal array of elements. Okay, now just execute it. First of all, we need to select all this line because this is one line we want to execute, right? So just execute it by this button, and you can see seven data or seven documents are inserted into our database, right? So in this way, you can insert single document or multiple document in MongoDB. In the next video, I will show you how you can query this data in MongoDB. Now in this video, we will see how we can query the data from the documents using MongoDB. So in the last video, if you remember, we have created a database called school, which we are going to use in this video also. So just use school, and then to query all the documents from a collection which we have created in the last video inside school, which was student, what we can do is we can just write db dot the collection name, which is student in our case, and then just write find, and then give these two brackets, something like this. Okay, and then execute this, and it gives all the data which we have inserted into the student collection, which is these documents, right? Now if you can see here, this is the dump of the results, and it's not prettified, or it's not shown in a pretty way. So to show this data in a pretty way, we have a command called pretty. So just write dot pretty. Okay, and when you give this command after this find and execute it, you will see this data in a prettified form, or in just like JSON format, right? And if you observe this data which is given by this MongoDB query, you can see this data. And if you remember, last time we have inserted these elements called student number, first name, last name, and age. But there is a extra field here added to our output, which is ID, right? So this is because whenever we insert a document in MongoDB, it creates a unique ID for every document, so that on the basis of this we can query our data, because this is the unique ID for your document. Now if you give this ID by yourself, for example you give this ID is equal to 1 or 2 or any other ID, then it's going to show you this ID. Otherwise MongoDB is going to create a ID by itself for you, which is shown to you here. Okay, now whenever you query the database, there can be some condition. On the basis of those condition, you want to query the data. For example, I want to query the data only for student 1. Okay, now the first way of querying the first document from your document list is just go here and just write db dot students, and then dot find, and then you have this option called find one. Okay, and this option is going to give you the first document. So when we execute this query, it gives the first document which was inserted in this database. Okay, now there are some condition on the basis of which you want to query the database. For example, you want to query the database on the basis of age, or for example we want to query the database on the basis of student number, and we want the data of the student whose number is 2, for example. So what we can do is we can just write on the next line db dot student dot find once again, and then give these two round brackets, and inside these two round brackets just give these curly brackets, and then give the whatever element you want to query. Okay, so for example, I want to just query the student number. Inside these curly brackets I will just write in double quotes student number, and then is equal to 2 or colon 2. And keep in mind we need to give double quotes here, because here also we have given the double quotes, right? And then just select all the command and execute it, and now it gives the data for student 2, you can see here. Okay, now for example, you want to query the database on the basis of age, and we want the list of all the document which is greater than for example 16-year-old. Okay, so we can just write, instead of this we can write age here, and then we can just write in the curly braces, so just write these curly braces, and then give this dollar symbol, and then you just need to write GT for greater than. Okay, and then give this colon here, and then give the number or the age which you want to write here. Okay, so for example, we want all the student which is greater than 15 years old. Okay, and then we can just execute this command, and you can see all the data age is more than 15 here. Okay, and there is one more command. For example, you want to show the student who are more than 15 including 15, so greater than or equal to, so you just write GT and just include letter E here, which stands for equality, so it will show you the data which is greater than or equal to 15. So let's execute this command, and you can see 15 is included here. In the same way, we have less than command, so instead of GTE we can just write LT, which is less than. Okay, and let's execute this command, and it gives a result all the ages which is less than 15, so 13, 12 and 10. And in the same way as greater than, you can just add letter E here, which includes the equality for this command. So whenever we execute this command, it gives, or it includes the 15 year old student also, because it's equal to, less than or equal to. Okay, now there is one last command which is there, which is called not equal to, and for that you just need to write NE here. So NE stand for not equals. Okay, so it will give the data for all the student which is not equal to a 15-year-old. Okay, so just execute this command, and it gives all the ages except 15. Okay, and for example, you want to prettify this result once again, you can just write here pretty. Okay, so you can just add this command or add this function here, and then execute this command once again, and it gives you the result in a prettified way. So in this way you can query your documents. Now in this video we will see how we can query the documents on the basis of AND or condition. Okay, so let's get started. For example, I will use the same example as in the last video. We have the school database, in which we have the collection called students, and we have some documents inside this collection, right? Now for example, we want to query a document, or we want to fetch the data whose student name is, for example, first name is Mark and age is 10. So this is AND condition, two condition which are added together using AND operator, right? So we can just write db dot student dot find, as we always do, to query the database, and then inside these round brackets just give these curly braces, and as the last time we just need to give the same condition. For example, first name is equal to Mark, which is this one, and when you separate this condition by comma, it means you are using AND operator, right? So first name should be Mark and age should be, for example, 10. Okay, this means we want to fetch the student whose first name is Mark and his name or his age is 10 here. Okay, so let's execute this and it gives the first result. So this is how AND operator works in MongoDB. Now let's see how we can use OR operator in querying our document. So for example, we want to query a document for students whose first name is Mark or the age is 15. So how we can do it? So we can once again write db dot students dot find, and in these round bracket first of all add a curly brace like this, and inside this curly brace for using OR operator we use a dollar symbol and then write OR, which says we want to use OR operator, and then give a colon and then give a square bracket here. So just it's like an array we want to query, and then inside this square bracket we have the number of condition. For example, this curly braces and once again curly braces, and in this curly braces comes your condition, and you can use as many condition as you want, not even two but multiple, right? So our first condition is the first name should be a Mark and the age should be 15. Okay, so what this means, we want to query a database of students whose first name is Mark, or we are using OR operator here, or the age is 15. Okay, so let's execute this query, and you can see we have two results. First is satisfying our first condition, which is this one, and second is satisfying the second condition, which is age should be 15. For example, let's say it should be 16. We have two student whose age is 16, and let's execute this, and you can see we have this data. Okay, now let's see how we can mix AND and OR operator for querying the document. So let's copy this command again and paste it here. And for example, first of all, we want to query data whose first name is Mark once again. So we can just give this query first like this, and then just write comma and then just give a dollar or as we have done here, and then colon and then your other condition, something like this. Okay, so for example, we want the data whose first name is Mark, or the age should be for example 15, or the age should be 16. So this condition and this condition is separated by and these two conditions are separated by OR. Okay, so once again execute the command, and it gives us nothing because there is no student in our database whose name is Mark as well as whose age is 15 or 16. Okay, so let's change the condition. For example, we want to have the data of student whose age is 10 or 16 or and the name is Mark. Okay, and once again execute it, and we have one data like this. Okay, so in this way you can use AND and OR operator for querying your documents. I hope you enjoyed this video. In this video we will see how we can update a document using MongoDB. So let's get started. First of all, we are going to switch to the same database as we have used in the last video, which is school. So just write school, use school and execute it. And now we are switched to school database. Now, first of all, let's list all the documents so we know what are the documents present. So just write db.student, which is a collection dot find, and then give this brackets here and execute it, and these are the documents we have. Now to update a document, what we need to do is we will just write db, then the collection name, and then there is a special method called update, which we can use to update a document or multiple documents. Okay, so just give this command, and inside these round brackets what we can do is we can give first of all the condition on the basis of which we want to add it. For example, we want to add it the age or the surname of a student whose ID is this one, for example, right? So in this condition, our condition is this one, which is ID is this, and wherever the ID is equal to this ID, then we are going to change the surname, right? So just give this curly brace, and let's give two curly brace because we are going to use both of them. And in the first curly brace, you just need to give your condition. For example, id is equal to this id, right? So we will give this, and in the second curly braces we will just give the value we want to set, right? But this takes a special parameter called $set. So this will tell, or this will tell the MongoDB to set this value, right? And then give colon, and once again curly brace, and then the value which we want to set. So for example, we want to set the surname here, right? So let's set this surname, and instead of this surname we want some other surname, for example some other surname, right? And then just execute this command, just select all this command and execute it, and you can see one modified. Okay, and once again we can give db dot students dot find, and this is not version but students, and execute it, and you can see the surname is changed here, right? So in this way you can change or update your document. The second way to update a document, for example, you want to update multiple document based on some condition. So how to do it? So we will edit the same command, or let's copy this command and paste it once again here. And this time what we want to do is the student which have the age 16, because we have two students which have the age 16. For example, we want to change the surname of these two students whose age is 16, this and this one, right? So how we can do it? So instead of this condition id, we can give the age condition now, right? So instead of this, just write age is equal to 16, and then set, and then the last name we want to set some surname, right? So some, for example, some surname, and then once we execute this command, let's see what happens. So there are two data which must be affected by this. So let's execute this, and this time it says modified is equal to 1, but we were expecting the two values to be affected by our command. And the reason for this is the update command, when you execute it something like this, is going to just update the first document which it finds satisfying this condition. So let's first of all list our documents once again, and let's see what happened. So in here you can see one of the document, which is the first document. It's updated, but the second document is not updated, right? Now to update the multiple document, we need to add one more condition here, and this condition is the third condition. And what is the condition? The condition is, just give the curly brace once again and then just write multi colon true, and let's execute this command. But I'm going to remove this, and don't forget you need to give the comma here, right? And then once again execute this command, and it says one more data is affected, which is the other data, right? So just list out the documents once again, and once again this other document is corrected or edited or updated, right? Now once again we will try to update with this command, and this time it should update the multiple data. So let's update the surname once again, some weird surname, and then once again execute it, and it says modified 2. That means it modified two commands. And let's list out our data once again, and you can see at the two places it has modified the documents. Now there is one more command which can be used to update the data, and this command is the save command. So how it works? So instead of using these commands, what we do is we will just write db.student, which is our collection name, dot save. And in this save command, what we can do is we can give the whole JSON which we want to update. So this command do two things. If the ID, so for example we want to edit this data, we can just copy the whole JSON and we can paste it here. And for example we want to change the age here, we can just change the age to, for example, 14. Okay, so what it does is it search for this ID inside your documents, and if this ID is present, then it's going to set the data or update the data for this ID document. Or otherwise, if this ID is not found, it's going to create a new document with the new ID and the new data, right? So let's execute this command and let's see what happens. And it says one document modified, and let's list out our documents once again, and you can see the age is changed. Now let's change the ID a little bit. So for example, instead of we have until 9E, so let's give 9F. Okay, and the student name is Tom, for example, and some surname, and the age is, for example, 16 or let's say 17. Okay, and let's remove this command and let's execute this command, and you can see right result. So once again we can list out all the documents, and you can see a new data is added to your documents, which is this one, right? So this works in two ways, one for inserting the data and other for updating the data. So in this way you can update documents in MongoDB. In this video we will see how we can delete a document or remove a document using MongoDB. So let's get started. First of all, we will just print all the documents we have. So I will just write db.student.find and execute it, and it's showing all the documents we have. Now to remove a document, we need a command. Once again, db.student.remove. You guessed it right, remove. Okay, and remove function or this method takes few arguments which we can provide, so we will see one by one how we can use this remove command. So the basic command remove, if you execute this command without any argument, then it's going to remove all the documents. Okay, so just handle this command with care, otherwise it's going to remove all your documents if you don't pass any arguments here. Otherwise, when you pass some arguments, so first of all I will give these curly braces, and inside these curly brackets what we can do is we can give some condition. So the condition can be, for example, first of all, which document we want to remove. So we can remove a document based upon a unique identifier, and in here we have this unique identifier called ID, which is created by MongoDB for us, right? So we can use this one. Let's use this ID. Let's remove the last document which we have inserted, which is this one, and just paste it in here. Okay, and I'm going to just execute this command, and it says removed one, right? So I'm going to once again find all the documents so we can see if it's removed or not, and you can see our document is removed from here, right? Because there is no ID which is something like this 9F at the end, right? So this is one way of removing the document. The other way of removing the document, for example, on the basis of a parameter which can affect multiple document. So for example, we want to remove the document of a student whose age is 16, and we can see here there are two students whose age is 16 here, right? So we can just give this parameter age is equal to 16, and then it's going to remove both these documents, right? But first of all, if you don't want to remove both the document, if you want to remove only one document, then there is a parameter which is something like this. If you provide number 1 after these curly braces, so just give comma and then give a number 1, something like this. Okay, and this will tell MongoDB that we just want to delete only one document. Even this condition is matching multiple documents, but we just want to delete one. So just write after this curly bracket comma and 1, and it's going to remove only one document. Okay, otherwise if you don't give this comma 1 here, it's going to remove these both the documents. So let's give this command first and let's see what happens. And it says removed two documents, and then we can print this documents, and you can see all these documents which has age 16 is removed or are removed. Okay, so if you want to remove only one document, just give comma 1. Otherwise you can remove on the basis of some condition like this. Okay, in this video we will see how to use projection in MongoDB. Now what is projection? Projection in MongoDB means selecting only necessary data rather than selecting whole data of a document. And the basic skeleton of using this projection command is almost the same as finding it. So you will write db, then the collection name, then find, and the first argument of this find method will be empty curly brackets, and the second argument will contain the key and the boolean value if we want to see it or not, true or false, right? So let's see how we can do it. So the first command I'm going to give here will be db.student.find, so that we can see all the data. So just student.find here, and let's execute this command, and it gives all the data we have. Now in this find command, for example, we just want to see the first name of every student and not all the data from all the documents. So what we can do, we can follow this format. First will be the empty curly brackets, and the second argument once again the empty curly brackets, and the first here will be the name of your element which you want to see. For example, this one, first name, just give first name here, and then colon 1 means that we want to show this first name, and 0 means here we don't want to show first name. Okay, so by default we will give 1 so that it will show us the first name. And let's execute this command. So execute it, and now it gives the first name, but you can see here it also gives us the ID. So in MongoDB, whenever you want to search for a specific data, it will always come with this ID unless you specifically or explicitly disable this ID. So how to disable this? Once again, what we can do here is just give the comma after 1, and then give your ID name, which is underscore ID, and then the boolean attribute. In this case we are giving 0 or false, so that it will not show the value of ID. Okay, so just execute it, and now we only see the first name here. Okay, so in this way you can use projection in MongoDB. In this video we will see how we can perform limit, sort and skip methods on querying your documents. So for example, I have these documents, all the documents are listed here, and for example I just want to limit the number of result up to 3. How do I do it? So the command will be the same as we have used in the last video, db.students.find, and then inside the find we were using projection in the last video, so we will use the same in this video. So first of all, give the empty curly brackets, and in the second curly bracket we will give the name of the field which we want to show. So for example, we want to show the student number, and the attribute it takes is 1, which is going to show it, right? The second element, for example, we want to show is the first name, so we will add first name here, and this also will be 1, so it will show it. And the third element we will give here is the ID, and ID we want to hide, and by default ID will be shown in the query, so we want to hide it, so we will just give 0 here, right? And then we will execute this command, and it gives us this result. Now to limit the number of result up to 3 or 4, for example, we use a method called limit. So just call a method called limit and give the maximum number of values we want to fetch. So for example, we want to only fetch 4 values, just give 4 here, and then execute this command, and it limits the value up to 4, right? Let me copy this, and now we will see how to sort, or first of all let's see how to skip the data. So for example, we want to show the result except first 2 values, right? So we want to show the result from 3, 4, 5, 6, so we can use the method called .skip for it. So it's going to skip these values, so just write skip and whatever number of value you want to skip. So for example, I want to skip 2 values and show all the other results, then I can do this, and then I will execute my command, and it shows student number 3, 4, 5, 6, and the first 2 it has skipped. Now for example, if we want to use skip and limit together, what we can do? So what we can do is, for example, we want to skip the first two result and then we want to show the next three result. So we will use first of all skip. So we will skip first two results. So just use skip 2, it will skip 2 result, and then we will call limit and it will show the three next results. Okay, so execute this command and it gives the 3 4 5 result. So first two skipped and next three are shown here, right? The next command is the sort command. So let's see how we can sort it. So just give the same command, and instead of using limit, we use the command called sort here. Okay, so just call a command called sort, and then in the curly brackets we need to give the element which we want to sort. So for example, we want to sort on the basis of the first name, right? We want to sort on the basis of first name, so just give the first name here, and then when you give here 1, so it's going to sort it in ascending order. So let's execute this command, and it gives error to us. I think instead of using comma, we must use colon here, and then execute it once again, and it gives us the result in the sorting order of the first name. So you can see the first names which start with C comes first, then D, then K, then M, then S. So it's sorting according to the alphabetical order. Now if you want to sort the name in descending order, we just use -1 instead of 1 here, right? And then execute this command, and now it's sorting in descending order. So S come first, and then M, then K, then D, then C. Okay, so in this way you can use limit, skip, and sort methods on your documents in MongoDB. In this video we will see how and why we use indexing in MongoDB. So first of all, what are indexes? Indexes are the special data structure that stores a small portion of data set in the easy to parse way. Now, why we use indexes? Now, indexes supports the efficient resolution of queries. Without indexes, if your MongoDB database is really large, for example, it has 10 million documents, and you need to find one of the documents, it's really inefficient to find one document out of 10 million or millions and millions of data. Now indexes make it easy to parse this data if you want to use large database. Now how to use indexes, let's see. So first of all, what I have done is, if you can see here, I have created a temporary database called temp, and using this for loop I have inserted 10 million document in this database. Now to make this database, it will take some time to insert these 10 million documents. That's why I have already issued this command which already created 10 million data for us. Now for this video I'm going to use the normal Windows command prompt to see our result better. So I have opened the empty command prompt, and I'm going to just give Mongo here, and we are switched to this Mongo shell, and then we will switch to our temp database. So just try to use temp and then press enter, switch to temp, and then let's print out the documents first, how these document looks. So just give db dot posts. Posts is the collection name in my case, you can see here, right? So this is the post collection dot find, and then these round brackets, and press enter. And what it does is it's going to print top result, for example top 20 results, and it will tell you to type IT for printing more. So it's not going to print all the 10 million result using this command line. That's why I'm using this. Otherwise, if I give this command here, it will be really slow, and this Mongo Chef will try to fetch all the 10 million documents which we don't want right now, right? So now we have 10 million documents. So let's try to find something, and let's see how much time it takes. So I'm going to give the same command, and this time I'm going to give some criteria here. So for example, student ID, we want to search for example, student ID 1000. Okay, and let's see how much time it takes. So I'm going to press enter, and you see it takes time and still searching, and it has searched this result which is 1000, but it takes some time, about 2 seconds or a few seconds, right? That's why we need indexing. So whenever we create indexing for some elements of a document, then it's going to search for this document faster. One way of searching is you can see, if you give find one command here, so instead of find, you just give find one, not this but like this, find one, and press enter. It finds it immediately, because what happens in find one case is going to search for the student whose ID is 1000, and at the time it search or it finds this ID, it immediately exits. But in the case of find, it's going to find all the document, in all the document which is matching student ID 10,000. So it's going to see in all the 10 million result for this student ID 1000. So let's create indexing, and let's see how fast this result becomes. So to create an index for a document, what you can do is you can just give the command db, and then the collection name which is posts, and then you give ensure index command. So just write dot ensure, ensure index. Okay, and then in round brackets you just give the key value pair. So just give these curly brackets, and in the double quotes, for example, you give student ID as your key. So just give student ID here, and then just give colon 1. Okay, so it's going to do the indexing for this element in all the documents, and now we are going to execute it. So press enter, and you see it takes some time to create the indexing of this, and after this indexing is created, it will become really fast when you want to search for the same data again. Okay, so if you do this kind of indexing, it will be really fast and efficient to find your data. That's why we use indexing. So now indexing of our documents are done, and let's find this student ID once again. So I'm going to give this command db post dot find for the student ID 1000. Let's give this time 10,000 or 100,000 for example, and let's search for it. So I'm going to press enter, and it immediately finds this document. So in case of this, after creating the indexing, it becomes really fast to search your document based upon the index you have defined. But be careful while you're defining the index. You don't want to create the index for every field. You may want to create the index where your IDs are unique. For example, in my case, the student ID is unique in this case, so I have provided this index. So you may want to restrict yourself while creating the indexes. So in this way you can create the index. Now in order to remove our index, how you can remove our index? So in order to remove our index, what you can do is you can give the same command, and instead of ensure index, you can just say drop index. So just write drop index. Okay, and it's going to drop your index. So I'm going to press enter, and it says okay, and once again I'm going to find this student and press enter, and now you see it takes time, few seconds, and after searching for few seconds it will give the result. So in this way, you can use indexes in MongoDB. In this video, we will learn about aggregation in MongoDB. So first of all, what is aggregation? Aggregation operation groups values from multiple documents together and can perform a variety of operations on the grouped data, and it's going to return a single result after the aggregation. Now, if you have used SQL relational databases, if you know, whenever you give the query, for example, select count and in the bracket asterisk, this count is for aggregation, and this count will return you the number of rows, right? In the same way, the aggregation function works in MongoDB. Now, how we can perform this aggregation in MongoDB? Let's see. So I'm going to use Windows command prompt for this video. So I'm going to switch to Mongo and then press enter. And in here I will switch to my students collection in the school database. So I will just write use school, and we are switched to school. And first of all, let's see what data we have in the school. So I'm going to just write db dot students dot find, and let's print this, and we have this much amount of document inside our database, right? And if you notice, I have added this gender field also to the documents if the student is male or female, right? Now, to perform aggregation, what we need to do is we need to just write db, then dot the collection name, for example students, something like this, and then use the command called aggregate, and inside these round bracket, give first of all these square brackets, and then once again the curly brackets, and inside the curly brackets, first of all we will give the aggregate operation. So what can be our aggregate operation? For example, we want to group the student on the basis of male and female. So we want to count how many female students we have and how many male students we have. So we can just write dollar group here, and then give a colon, and once again give these curly brackets, and here in these curly brackets we will give the condition on the basis of which we want to group the students. So we want to group on the basis of ID, and what we want to group, we want to group gender. So just in the double quotes, just write dollar, this is important, just write dollar and then gender, which is the name of your field, right? So just write gender, which is same as this field in your JSON document, you can see here, right? And then once we have given that, we need to specify the format of result. So after comma, the next argument will be the result, and here the first keyword you can define on yourself. So for example, you can just say my result or something like this. You whatever word or keyword you want to see in the answer, you can just give that word, and then colon, and then once again curly brackets, and inside the curly bracket, what we want to do, what operation we want to perform here. We can perform sum, minimum, maximum, average, and other operations here. So we are going to perform sum for now. So just write dollar sum, and then just give colon, and then give here true or 1, right? And then we are going to perform this command. So press enter, and it returns us male, number of male. We have 3 males and 3 females in our documents, right? Now, for example, we want to find the maximum and minimum age of students inside our documents how we can do it. So in here we will pass the same query, but instead of my result, for example, we can say max age for the result, and then instead of using sum we can use max here. So just write max, and instead of true we can pass the field which we want to perform the operation on. So for example, we want to perform this operation on age, we want to find the maximum age, right? So just give in double quotes this age field, and then press enter, and it returns us error because I think I forget to give the dollar symbol before age. So just give dollar age, don't forget the dollar symbol here, and press enter once again, and you can see here the maximum age for male is 40 here, and maximum age for female is 17 here, right? And similarly we can do the minimum age operation, so min age, and here you just need to write min and press enter, and once again it gives us error because instead of type in min I typed mix. So just once again we will correct this operation min and then press enter, and it returns us the minimum age of male is 13 and minimum age of female is 12 here. Okay, so in this way you can perform aggregation in MongoDB. In this video we will see how we can restore and backup data in MongoDB. So what I have done is I have opened a command prompt and I have run this command mongod in a command prompt, right? Now next what I have done is I have opened the bin folder of MongoDB where my mongod and mongoexe and other executable files are here. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to open a next command prompt, and in here I'm going to run mongo command. So just give mongo and press enter, and we have the mongo shell. Now the next thing I want to do here is I want to once again open the command prompt, but this time I want to open it with the administrative usage. So just open command prompt with admin privileges, right? And press yes. And in here what I'm going to do is I'm going to cd change directory to this bin folder of this MongoDB, right? So right click and paste the path and press enter here, and we are in the bin directory of this MongoDB folder, right? Now let's see what are the databases we have using this Mongo shell here. So I'm going to just give show DBs and press enter, and right now I have three databases. One is provided by the MongoDB, which is local, and other two which I have created. One is school and one is MyDB. Now for example, I want to take the backup of these databases. What I can do, so in here in the bin folder you can find a command called mongo dump, and whenever you provide this command it's going to take the backup of your databases and save the dump in this folder itself. So let's give this command. So just give mongo dump and press enter, and now you will be able to see this dump folder created by this command in your bin directory. So let's go into this dump folder, and in here you will see one folder for each of your databases. One is MyDB folder, and inside this your collection will reside, and the other is school database, and inside this your other collections will reside, right? So in this way you can back up your databases. Now if you want to restore your database, what you can do, so for example I will delete my database, so I will just write use my db, and I'm going to drop this database, so I will just write db dot drop database, and I'm going to give this command, and this database is dropped, I'm going to do the same for the school database. So I will switch to school, and then I'm going to drop this database. And let's see now what are the databases we have. So I'm going to just say show DBs, and now we only have one database which is local, right? So to restore our database, we have this command called mongo restore, and what it does is it's restoring the databases from this folder. So let's give this command in this other shell which is with admin privileges. So just give mongo restore and press enter, and our databases are restored. So once again, when we go here and give the command show DBs, we have all the three databases in here. Now what if you want to only back up only one database, not all the databases you have? So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this dump folder, and then I'm going to open both my command prompt for administrative privileges and the Mongo shell here, and this time I'm going to give the command to dump the particular database. For example, I want to only back up my school database, or I want to only back up my MyDB database. Let's back up only MyDB database. So you need to give this command mongo dump, and then hyphen hyphen two times, and then db, and then the database name you want to back up. So for example, my DB, I want to back up this database, and I will press enter, and in here you can see this dump folder is created, and inside this we only have one database which is my DB. Now to restore this database, what we can do here is, first of all, let's delete this database. So we are going to just say use mydb, and we are going to drop it. So db.drop database, and right now we have only two databases, which is school and local, right? Now to restore this database, what we can do is we can give once again the restore command with hyphen hyphen db and the database name. So mongo restore hyphen hyphen db and then my db. It's going to restore your particular database. So press enter, and this gives errors to us because we need to also specify the path of your database. So you just need to give this mongo restore hyphen hyphen db, then your database name, and then the path to your database. So just write dump, which is this folder here, and inside this folder we have my db. Okay, so just give my db. Okay, so it's going to give the path of your database, and then press enter, and now the database is restored. So we can just give show dbs here and then press enter, and in here you can see my db is restored now. Okay, now let's see how we can back up only one collection from a database. So for that, what we need to do is, for example, we want to back up the collection of school database. So let's switch to school first. So I think this is the command, use school, and then press enter here, and we are switched to school, and in here we can just say show collections and press enter, and it has the collection called students, as we already know, right? Now how we can back up only this collection? So we need to give the same command mongo dump minus minus or hyphen hyphen db your database name, then hyphen hyphen collection, and then your collection name. So my collection name is students here, right? So the command is mongo dump hyphen hyphen db my db. Instead of my db, we need to give school because the database name is school here, right? So just give school, and then hyphen hyphen collection and the collection name, and then press enter, and you can see one folder is created here. Inside this folder you have your student collection. right? Now how to restore this once again. So what we can do, once again, go to our Mongo shell, and let's remove this collection first. So let's first drop the student collection from here. So just write db dot students dot drop, and it's going to drop the collection. It says true, so collection is dropped. And to restore it, we need to use the same command. So just give mongo restore hyphen hyphen db mydb. Instead of mydb, we will give the name of our database, which is school, and then hyphen hyphen the collection. So just write collection, and our collection name is students, right? So just give students here, and then after the students, we need to give the path of the student collection from here. So the path of the student collection is dump, and then our folder name, which is school. So just give the name of the folder, and inside the school we have this students.bson file, right? So we will give this thing. So forward slash students dot bson, right? And press enter, and then it says done. So let's see if it's restored or not. So once again, we will say show collections, and it says students. So in this way, you can backup and restore database collections and your whole databases, right? So I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and bye for now.